Sorry, I need a lozenge. Hey everybody, I'm Matt, and I'm here along with
I'm Anthony.
I'm again. This is not the first time you referred to yourself as I'm Anthony, and then I have to go. Oh, it's I'm. This
I
isn't the
should know
first time
better.
this happened. Yes, this happened on those guys play. You can say I'm Anthony, but it's just when I'm like, oh, I'm here with. It's just always funny. You're like I'm, and there's an
Yeah,
emphasis on the I'm.
he's here with I'm.
I'm. Okay, so I am. Can I call you I? Uh, what?
No,
No, you are not amused. This movie we are talking about, Ju-on: The Grudge 2. You are not amused, Anthony.
no, I'm not.
Oh my god. So is it because you've had a long week or a long day, or is it only the film?
Um,
Is it
I'm
a
trying to
comp?
think of. I'm trying to think of the answer to that.
Is it a combination? Because like I'll admit, this movie did not get me going. I don't know how to feel though. I'm in this weird what the fuck nebulous area of
Yeah.
like I've processed it all now. I've done some reading. I wanted to see it in writing, so I'm like, okay, I get the film, but it's still I don't I mean like I will admit I was some of the more horror aspects like the just having oh god, Kayako. For some reason, I was thinking Sadako because Sadako is from The Ring, and at the end, when she was a little girl, she looked like Sadako. Funnily enough, so my mind's flipping between the two. Either way, though, with Kyoko, yeah, I just feel like this is a sequel that didn't need to happen.
No, it didn't. Uh, no, it's just that there was so many scene changes and people appearing, people like disappearing and then reappearing and then waking up and then this scene is somewhere else and
Odd question.
and,
Are you
and
odd question? Are you playing a video game in the background?
no.
Oh, okay, cool. I heard some racing noises, and I was like, I swear to God, if you're
No,
playing a
my
game and didn't mute it, you could play a game. I thought you didn't mute it. I was like, Anthony,
no, my parents are watching TV and
the
it's loud.
Faster and the Furiouser. That's how there's like nine of them now. Anthony,
Oh
did
yeah,
you
I
did you
know.
know that there's nine of them?
I knew that. Yeah.
That's insane. Anyway, no, I just heard cars, and I was like, if he didn't mute the game, I was like, why? Anyway, no, I
No, no.
don't. That's yeah. So the sequel didn't need to happen, I think, but I
And
don't. So, but okay. Here's the thing, though. Do you understand the plot at this point? Because it jumped around in a way where I feel like the first one, and of course other ones as well, Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2, we've
they
reviewed.
jumped around. They also jumped around like that. And but they didn't do it as much as this one, and they didn't do it in a confusing way.
Right.
And by the time by the time I sort of grasped what was going on, I no longer cared. I didn't care what happened to any of the characters.
Goddamn.
I had no emotional connection to any of the characters. I I just wanted I just wanted I just wanted the movie to end. I just wanted them all to die if necessary. Like I just did not. I was not invested. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, yeah, you don't have to be sorry. I feel like there's something about the previous films that and I can't because it's been so long since we've seen the other films and talked about them on Friday Night Movies. This also being a Friday Night Movies episode. We haven't talked about them in a while. I mean, it's been I think 2 years between all of these that we've been doing. I'm pretty sure it's two. My actually, I'll check right now. Might even be might even be longer. So when it comes to yeah, about two ish, maybe a little bit more. So when it comes to these previous films, there's something that I feel some kind of maybe not attachment, maybe I don't relate to them, but I feel worried about them, and I hope they're gonna make it out okay. And in this film, not that everyone was even unlikable necessarily.
No,
It's
they weren't unlikable. I was just indifferent.
yeah, they were
It was
very
just
milk
watching.
toast.
It was just like watching strangers the whole time, and
Mm-hmm.
and not even people that I had the time to get to know.
Yeah, no, no, that's what literally, yeah, strangers. Like obviously we don't want them to die. We're not like rooting. And that's the weird thing too, like this movie because there's some for certain American movie monsters, there are certain situations where someone can go, you know what, I'm now rooting for Freddy or I'm rooting for Jason. Like some people do go into a film looking at like woo, because you know it's all fiction. You know, no one's
Yeah.
actually getting hurt here. But I feel like with Kayako, I'm not necessarily rooting for her, nor am I actively against her. Like, having one film that introduces her plight and her struggle and how she passed and how she's. And yes, we had the two specials before Ju-on the Grudge, but still, introducing her and what she went through gives you a sad story. Anything else after that, it's hard for me to connect to. Now, if this was just a standalone movie, I think maybe we could, I don't know about you, but I could look at it differently, but because it's a sequel to the first film, not that it's meant to complement or it has to be a companion. It's not Ju-on the Curse 1 and 2. Those were pretty much, you know, literally took place like a day after each other or something along those lines. So
Yeah.
they were, in some cases, months. So they were meant to really, like, coincide as a unit, really. But in
Yeah.
this case, I think as a standalone film that still has to, just because it's the same franchise, it has to, you know, take place in the same universe and everything. It's not a reboot or anything like that. It just feels like it's a story that we did not need to tell.
No, not at all. And I think even if it wasn't connected to The Grudge, if it was just a standalone movie, I would still be thinking the same things I am now. I would still be going, "What the fuck?"
No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. There would be the what the fuckery would still be afoot, but that doesn't mean though that it's we still can't go. Oh, but that was cool, or oh, that was cool. And there was still some cool stuff in this film. But what I'm getting at though, Anthony, is you would.
Very little, but yeah.
Well, okay, so what do you consider? Because for especially for the time period that it was, '04, I think that some of the stuff involving CG, like the fact that the kid's head was a soccer ball, I was like, oh shit.
Okay, I'll give you that. The special effects.
Yeah,
I'll give
no, I was
But
not expecting that
but
going, and the actress who played Kayako, I mean, the way she moved was like that's insane. Like she
Oh
really
yeah.
embodied the character. So I feel like there are some cool stuff. It's just that when it comes to that whole plot thing, that uh,
That whole plot thing, which doesn't matter. Yeah.
well, what
No.
I think, yeah, right, it's supposed to, and I think that for me, it's also the fact that look, I'm not saying everything needs to be exposition city because there are some like there was one of the Ring movies did something similar to this plot, not 100% but somewhat similar, and even with their exposition I was kind of confused, I will admit. So don't get me wrong, like pseudoscience can also kill a movie, but i don't I don't understand why Kayako had to be reborn. I thought it was going to be Toshio, the kid.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to, because like he's touching the stomach and everything, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh, this is Kayako's way of bringing her son into the world. I believe something similar happened in one of the Curse movies, but
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna go in that direction, but no, they go for Kayako, and then I don't have a problem with her killing her mom, but why did she wait that long?
Yeah. But the problem for me is I don't care.
Right. So then why? But no, no. But you care about Kayako, I assume, like
I
her
I care about
shenanigans.
I care about Kayako, but like I was not I was not given any reason to want to care.
Okay.
I still
So
I still I still cared about her, but like I just didn't care about the movie itself.
also, I know you're not a big horror fan. Do you feel like maybe this delved too much into a genre you're not a big fan of?
Um well, I think this is not a movie I would recommend to even horror fans.
Interesting. Again, for the
Uh,
plot, I agree. For the spoops and the murder, I would recommend it.
yeah,
Again, just it
I am.
depends on your criteria.
But
Like, what do you go
but
into?
I liked
Yeah.
I liked the other Ju-on movies so much more than this one.
Yeah, I think, I mean, when it comes to the curse ones, there are some ish, like I feel like it's give or take really for me. But when it
Yeah,
comes to the first Juan the Grudge movie, yeah,
yeah,
no, that definitely beats this one out. And it sucks because if I described the premise to you on paper, if I said a film crew tries to go into the house and then they
yeah.
get cursed, you're like,
Which
all right, sign me up.
I think that that's stupid too.
Really? Why?
Why is there a film crew going into the house? I feel like that house should have been burnt down by now.
I mean, well, there's Anthony, do you not watch those paranormal shows where like they do that all the time?
Well, yeah, no, I know that they have to do it for like it's good ratings and stuff,
No,
but
but but
like,
that actually happens in real life. That's not like a, oh, in this movie they have to go in here. No, like there are TV shows dedicated to going to haunted places across the US.
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I don't know, but like I think there's some confusion, Anthony. I think you're under the impression that everyone, including the police and everybody, knows that Kayako exists. Like in the real world, if she was murdering people left and right like this, they would be you would hear maybe, oh, that's the cursed house, that's the haunted house.
Well, I'm not
But like,
saying that everyone knows she exists, but I'm saying that the murders actually happen so that they know that something is going on with the
I mean,
house.
but people still live in the Amityville horror house. That house didn't get burned down. And there's a lot of lore surrounding that house. And that's in Long Island.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I get.
don't get me wrong. The house should be condemned, but like the house should no one should be living there. And it's funny because in future movies, the house is condemned and like nobody's living there. But
Yeah,
because after a certain point, it's just like, all right, let's not even fucking touch that place. Let's not even burn it down.
yeah.
Let's just don't go near it. But also, I don't believe we know how long this was from the initial film. It could still be within the same week or month.
It could be.
Oh, so here's something. So I'm sorry. This is something I haven't divulged to you. Because it's been so long since we've seen the first one. The character of Chiharu, she was the teenager who was an extra in the show or movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually is from the first movie. So she was a
Oh.
high schooler in the first movie. She wasn't the one that like saw all of her friends heads and whatnot. Remember that at the end of the movie?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She wasn't her. That was Isuzu, I believe. But when it comes to Chiharu, it's odd. Yeah, she was. I'm sorry, Izumi. Is that girl? And I believe maybe Chiharu was one of the heads. I am unsure. What I do know is that like Chiharu was in the movie briefly.
Mm.
It's just weird though because when I look up summaries of Juon the Grudge, none of them mention Chiharu, and I'm like, okay, so she must have really been like a background of a background character to then be brought into this movie to kind of fill out, the lore. So if she's still a high school student, it's not like it's been years since the event. So if this is all happening in a string of, like, don't get me wrong, I understand your apathy 100%. But
Yeah.
like I don't think that, nobody who has seen Kayako has lived to tell the tale to go by the, and also even if they did, what cop is going to hear, officer, I swear to God it's a ghost. So we
Yeah.
have to burn down a house because of a ghost. So I think that the premise of the film is one that could actually be a good one. Its execution is what was
Hmm.
off, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
again, yeah, I did, and also what I don't enjoy, actually, about something else I didn't like. The idea that, and this is something that the first film did as well, to be fair. So, and I didn't like it there. I don't remember how you felt. Time travel is odd,
Yeah.
or
That's one of the things that did it for me because I didn't I didn't know what was happening when because there were scene jumps and then like in the middle they go back to a scene from the beginning
yeah. I mean, oh no,
it's
not
just like
that. That I have problems with, but again, only in the execution because it's been done well before. Tarantino did that really well with Pulp Fiction. I think that the Juon movies have done that well in the past. In this case, the execution was bad. I didn't mean that. I I said time travel. I should have meant the visions of, oh, I'm in the house, but I'm not in the house, but I'm in the house, but I'm not in the house. It's kind of
Yeah,
like, well, which one is
yeah,
it?
on top of that, that's also another thing that it was the combination of the it was the combination of the going from the past to the present, then going from in the house to in the hospital. Now I'm here, now I'm there. I that was really the icing on the cake for me that I just stopped caring because I'm like, there's no way I can follow this, and the
Right.
the characters are just not. I'm not connected to the characters.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
don't
we're
know.
I think I'm not conveying my thoughts properly though. I'm not referring to jumping like scene cutting. I mean like when Chiharu, the teenager, she was an extra on the film. So she's talking to her friend Megumi, and
Yeah,
she's like screaming like, oh my god, Megumi, Megumi, you know, yada yada." And I believe it was Megumi. No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. I That's another issue too, by the way. Some of the names. I need, even though they did screen them a lot, to be fair. So they were trying to help me out. Um, no, they were trying to help us out. They screamed out names a lot. There was a lot of screaming in this movie. Um,
yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I know it's a horror movie, but
Well, no, no, no. It's interesting. I have no problem with screaming in a horror movie. That's fucking hilarious. We sound like very old men if we're like, there was too much yelling and a lot of murder. What's going on with this movie? It would be like watching a Marvel movie and being like, there's too many superheroes here. It's like, well, yes, Grandpa, you watched Endgame. There are a lot of superheroes in this movie. Um, no, no, no. But what I'm referring to is, so Chiharu is having flashes. I'm sorry, her friend was Hiromi. Uh, Chiharu is having flashes to where she's in the house and Hiromi's outside the house, and then flashes to her actually being on set. And then they're claiming that they're dreams. So I'm thinking, like, oh, are they
yeah,
visions? Are they.
yeah. I was like, is it a vision? Is it a dream? Is she actually there? I don't
Yes.
care.
Yeah. Wow, this movie really got
I'm
you
sorry.
upset.
I'm sorry. I'm really. I just really didn't like it. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. It's just hilarious. Because like I totally get. No, no, because like I can't say that I liked it either. But it's just funny that like if something confuses you, you're just like, I don't care. I've checked out and I'm out.
Well, yeah, that because you should be able to follow a good movie.
That's also true. Yes. Um,
So I
and
don't think I'm wrong.
I never said you were wrong. I just said you were funny.
I know.
You're not wrong. It's just fucking hilarious. Also, I
So
feel
I
like
mean I'm being very sassy today. I'm sorry.
it's all right. What I Yeah, I think again the reason why I was saying that earlier, I said this much earlier, that I feel like this, if it was its own film standalone, not related to the franchise, is because I think I would
No,
look at
that would
it.
help.
I would, well, yeah, I was saying that I think I would look at it better, is because I feel like it departs from what I've been seeing with
Yeah.
the Grudge films. Not that they're very much like that they're above having, you know, gory deaths or yada yada. Because, I mean, the other ones did that. I mean, we saw fucking Kayako get murdered, which was a
Yeah,
lot.
the gory deaths didn't bother me at all.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what usually bothers me in a horror movie.
Yeah, it was the fact that you couldn't root for
But yeah,
or root
but
against the
yeah,
humans.
the gory deaths were actually a relief for me because then I was thinking now I there's something happening that I can follow. Someone died.
That's that, you know, okay, so I give that to you 100%. I agree. Yes. The deaths were very conclusive because I could go, "Okay, you are dead."
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
exactly.
yeah, so like you kind of like you have a checklist of people. It's like Ace Attorney. You just have all the profiles and it's like, "All right, that person's dead. That person's a lot. No, no, they're dead. That person's the murderer?" Yes. At least we I love that the only constant, at least we know that, okay, Kayako is killing people. That's the one constant.
That's the only thing I'm gonna remember from this movie.
Oh, I hope, because
That Kayako killed people. That's the only
you're
thing that
gonna
I'm.
you're going to delete from your mental hard drive the idea of her going through somebody's uterus
Oh, it already has been deleted.
Delete. Um, I don't have a problem with her going through her uterus. Matt
No, I
said,
don't either.
recorded. This is going up on the internet. I have a problem with the fact that it, she just turned into the baby. Like, I would have rather some demonic, creepy shit right there and then kill her on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather her be born as an adult woman
Yeah.
rather than her come out as a curse and
I
then
mean,
actually be a child.
I thought that was I thought that was kind of weird too. Like how is she the baby? Because I was under the impression in the beginning that the baby like just
That's the issue. No, that's the
that
issue.
that
The
the baby
baby
died.
died. No, that's the thing. The baby died in the crash. She
Yeah.
either no, she took the spot of the baby. Like, let's say the soul is gone, she
Yeah.
took the spot, which that actually quote unquote makes sense. Something like that happened in a previous Grudge movie, I believe, where she took control of someone. Like, I was one of the Curse movies where she possessed them.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, Kayako's possessing the unborn body of this child. Sure, I'm in. I get it. All right. Okay. It's the fact that she came out as the curse, and I think that it's one of those things where it's like, it just looks good visually if she just like creepily, especially something like pregnancy that's always a hassle to go through. I say as someone who can't give birth. But still, though, what matters is that I understand what they were going for. Like, I'm sure any person who can give birth, who is watching that or who has been pregnant watching that scene, it gives them the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm not saying it didn't give me the heebie-jeebies, but I'm sure someone watching is like, ooh, ah. And so that's good.
Mhm.
That's good. But coming out as the curse, and that's what I want to consider her as, because she's a ghost, so it's not like that's a physical form. That's like the curse, and then or the grudge, and then having that become little tiny babe.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, look, I know I'm not supposed to be thinking about this too hard. Especially, it's odd that I've already accepted that she's come out as the curse, and that everything's fine. But and that the mom is not. I thought she was dead from childbirth because that's a grown ass woman. But also, again, it was a ghost, so I guess not really. Either way, point being, Anthony, the fact that she could take the child and leave without any repercussions is odd to me. You would think that a bunch
Yeah.
of dead doctors in a room would kind of, like destroy any kind of normal life she could lead after that. I mean, there
Yeah.
has to be police. Like, it feels like the first movie. It's not. The police were not only not incompetent; they were in the house. They were trying to investigate these murders. If you remember, those were the
Yeah.
police in the first movie. Now it seems like this is a world that exists without police.
Yeah.
This entire movie is just a world without any kind of police officers trying to be like, "Hey, what's going on over
Yeah.
there?
But
Seriously, what the
I
fuck?"
don't but I don't think we were really meant to read that much into it either.
I know, but I'm not. I'm not trying to read heavily into it. It's just, bro, she walked out of the hospital with blood coming out of her, with a child that is bloody because or other fluids, and then you walk out with the child.
Yeah.
It was just so odd, and I understand the idea of again, you've basically given birth to the Antichrist. I get it, but no, it's very much like the
You on
Omen.
that.
It's very much like, I would argue the first movie was a bit like the Amityville Horror, and then this one
Yeah.
is very much kind of like the Omen.
Yes. Yeah.
And I see it, but it was just done in a way that, I mean, I don't know, especially because of the year that it came out in, where it's like it's out in '04. It's not like, '03, '04. It's like there are systems in place that would see you walking around with a baby and be like, oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the video editing scene a lot. The scene where he
Oh
was
yeah,
looking at the footage, and initially I was like, yeah, it's the two of them
and
there,
that,
and they put Kayoko there instead, and then I knew the kid was going to be there later, but just the way he walks and stares at him, I was like, this is fun.
that was the only part I liked. I also liked when Kayoko's face appeared in the printer, the printing paper.
Yeah.
Um, that's when
12:27 a.m.
I almost I
was
almost
my.
cons- I almost that was the only I almost considered the thought of being scared.
Oh, that's so that's so nice. I feel bad as a human being, um, because okay, so the idea of being spooked by a jump scare would freak me out. Like it's freak
Yeah.
like as I've been trying to watch this movie over the last 2 days and actually sit down and watch the whole thing, which I also think is a testament to my issues with this movie. Is that even though my attention span can wane,
I'm
even if a movie's good, they can do that to me. But
Oh yeah,
this
absolutely.
one,
My attention span is also horrible too, and
but
I'm surprised I even got through this movie. I was seriously this close to shutting my laptop off and saying, "I'm sorry, Matt, I can't do this."
and then I would have just had you on and asked what you did see, and it would have been
Yeah,
hilarious. I'd be like, then just call in right now. Let's see what you did see, and
yeah.
and I'll try to. I would fill in the rest for you, Anthony, and then I'd be like, does it make any more sense? And you would say no.
No, it doesn't.
Um, well, okay. So what happened is that I was jumping between this movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 version. And how much more interesting would this movie have been if they had met Kayako?
Oh my god.
That would have been interesting.
It would
Maybe
have
it's
been an
just me.
improvement.
Definitely. Now, it's funny though because we saw this on, and this is not a plug. Look at our numbers. This is not a plug. Tubi TV.
Yeah.
And I think that also confused you too, Anthony. You don't know what Tubi TV is, do you?
No.
Neither do I. I was looking for a random movie. It was Doll Man, which I've never seen before, but I heard some interesting things, and it has some horror crossovers with other movies later. So I was like, oh, let me try to find Doll Man, and I just couldn't find a legal way to watch it. And I was like, come on, give me fucking Doll Man somewhere. And I found it on Tubi TV for free, and I was like, what's the catch? Only catch, it seems, is that there's ads. I'm not
Yeah.
paying for shit on there. I don't know if it is a subscription service. I just know that it streams movies and TV shows and anime,
Yeah.
but it's legal. It's owned by NBC Universal.
You probably you probably could get a subscription and then you wouldn't have to deal with ads.
But I don't give
That's
a fuck.
probably Yeah.
Because you know what's the cool thing about the ads too, from what I noticed, this is how you really know that we're not on their payroll. You can just walk away. Like you could like go to other tabs. Because some services like Funimations, if you go to another tab, the ad stops,
Mm,
and I'm like,
yeah.
ah, I see. I mean, I'll still look at my phone or whatever, but I'm like, I see. So, but when it comes to what I've seen from Tubi TV, like they'll have ads every now and again, and that's legit it. But the reason why I wanted to do this with you sooner rather than later is because it's actually leaving the service. I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
it's within the month or something, but it was like I was just scrolling through their movies. I was like, what the fuck do you have? And I was looking through movies that are pretty much leaving soon, bro. Was the tab, and then I saw this, and I was like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. We have to do this
Yeah.
because we already did the first Ju-on. We were gonna do Ju-on the Grudge. We were gonna do this eventually. We kept on trying to do it, but we never had the opportunity to. And I think that was God. I'm just gonna put that out there. I think that was the Lord in heaven being like, nah, dude.
Yeah, and he was
You
like, "How can we fuck with Anthony today?"
Well, no. But for all the times that we couldn't do it.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Today, yes, today God is a little sassy. Maybe his favorite sports team did not win. We're recording this on the day of the Super Bowl. Hey, Anthony, you actually saw it. Who won?
Um Kansas City won. And I was gonna
The great
mention
state
that
of
because,
Kansas.
yeah, I was gonna mention that because because I was gonna say that on the day we're recording, it was the day of the Super Bowl, and so this was The Grudge was the second scariest thing I've seen today.
Why was the Super Bowl
No,
scary?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, was it Shakira going? Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, that was pretty
blah,
scary.
either way, I would.
But I thought you
So
didn't see it. You
I
know
didn't. I
about
just
that?
saw. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter immediately. I'm watching Doctor Who, and during a commercial, I just see people sharing that all over Twitter.
Oh my god, I didn't see Doctor Who yet. Um,
Um,
yeah.
it was better than this.
Oh, that's. Oh, thank you.
What if it wasn't? If I told you it wasn't, what would you do then? Um,
I would hang up.
oh God. But yeah. So you know what's?
Oh, I dropped something. Sorry,
Oh,
you might have heard that.
I didn't until I heard like a crinkling, and I was like, okay, whatever. You're laughing covered it up until you brought it up.
Oh, okay.
You brought it up, Anthony. No, but seriously though, yeah, you know, it's just funny. I'm thinking about the fact that this movie's going to come out. This podcast is going to come out in like 4 months from now. Everything we're
Oh,
talking about will be dated as fuck. Probably like 3 or 4 months. God only knows. We have a steady stream of stuff in the meantime, folks. By meantime, I mean already been released because this is when you hear this, it will be live, in some fashion. Anywho, yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm extremely apathetic, other than certain scenes, as I've been saying over and over. What was your favorite scene in the movie? It seems like yours was the video editing, right?
yeah, the video editing and the scene with the printer.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite scenes.
No,
Other
printers
than
are
that,
definitely terrifying. Ask Tristan. Printers are
oh,
terrifying. Um, I think my favorite was Kayako coming out of, or not. I guess you could argue it was, but it was, I think, under a different shape, coming out of the ground, uh,
the puddle
yeah,
thing.
of her own death.
I can't even explain what
Oh
it
no, that
is.
was in
Yeah,
the first movie. I believe that was where her body was.
yeah.
And so coming out of that, actually no, my favorite scene, at least the way it played out, I think, even though I love the video editing part so much, but talking about the short form storytelling they did, the 12:27 a.m. thing was actually one of my favorites, because even though I think that, when I think about it, I'm like, wait, is she telling them their future, or is it a vision, or did it just play out? Was she just taunting them and then it happened that way? But as a scene, though, I like the idea of 12:20. When the woman walked in, she saw her boyfriend hanging. He was not there. He was behind her, like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, what the fuck? Then she sees that it happens, the banging on the wall every day at 12:27 a.m. Little does she realize that's basically a foreshadowing of her own doom when she and her boyfriend are hanging by Kayako's hair, and then their feet bang against the wall because Toshio is playing with their dead bodies at 12:27 a.m.
Yeah.
I liked that in just the way it kind of looped together. Again, you think about it for 5 seconds, and I'm like, I would like a little teensy bit more exposition, because I think, and this is a problem with all of the movies, not just this movie, for some reason, Kayako has every power ever.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
of
feel
course.
like, well, no, but like, I feel like it's a thing where you look at other horror movie, villains, monster movie villains, and I think of them as, okay, you have one defining thing, right? Like, as in, like, your power, your superpower, whatever you want to call it, right? You have one defining issue. Like Jason Voorhees. He's slow, but also kind of fast. He's very fast, and he seems like he's an unstoppable juggernaut. Now you could say, oh, but he has super speed and strength. It's like, no, but like, you can't get out of his grip. And I guess that means that he's also. It's funny, you don't really usually see him running. You just see him appearing. So you assume that he has super speed, but I never see the guy fucking run. Now, when it comes to Freddy, he just gets you in your dreams. That's his whole shtick. Yes, you could say in the dreams he like extends his arms and all this stuff, but I feel like it's still in the dreamland, so you can also fight back, as we've seen through many. That is a true nightmare in dreamland, Freddy. But when it comes to Kayako, it feels like her powers are, initially it seems like, well, if you come in contact with the house, you're going to die. It seems like that's it. but the way she kills people, it seems like she can just do anything.
Yeah, she
Like,
does anything she wants. She can grab you with her hair and hang you from the ceiling, apparently.
well, no, that actually is something that's happened before. I believe
Yeah.
that happened in the first one.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that one's too weird for me. It's the visions and the fucking with the timeline and the foreboding. Like you could argue again, she's taunting them, but in my head I'm like, but that went eerily like they heard the banging every time at 12:27. Is that a distortion in the timeline? I'm watching too much Doctor Who. But no, it just feels like if I don't know. Like I'm just saying that like I feel like I could go into the house, right? Into the Grudge house, leave, then 10 years later, a doctor says, "I'm sorry, you have a tumor." And that tumor is Kayako. Like no matter what,
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
just
was
saying like I can walk into the house and then 3 months later get hit by a pickup truck. Who's driving the truck? Kayako.
Echo.
I just and Toshio's in the back in the well, it's a pickup truck, so there's no back seat. In a seat next to her, playing with the cat. By
Oh
the way, the
my
cat
god.
didn't appear in this movie, which I was kind of sad about.
Oh yeah, there was no cat. I forgot.
I also forgot, but I was reading over the first movie in case there was anything that I, missed, which is like most of the movie, I feel, for the second one. So I was trying to read over both movies, not just through Wikipedia, but also through some fan sites, trying to read it in not in chronological order, in their order, because Wikipedia lists it in chronological order, but that completely fucks up the flow. So I'm like,
Oh
let me
yeah.
read it in the order they told it to me in, so I can make sure I did not miss anything, because it truly feels like I missed a lot. And it's weird because I don't want to feel like an idiot and be like, spoon feed me everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like there just was there in some cases there was too little discussion over what in the flip was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think there's a difference between wanting to be spoon-fed everything and wanting to at least know what the hell is going on.
Right. And yeah, but again, I do like the premise a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't, but it's fine. I just think that because I used to, when I was a teenager, I used to see all those shows where like, some guy would like fart into a microphone and it'd be like, is that the ghost? And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you just did this in editing. Someone off camera probably slammed a pipe into another pipe, and everyone was like, whoa, like on the Sci-Fi Channel, like Ghost Hunters and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I used to breakfast, lunch, and dinner that. I mean, just give me an IV drip.
Yeah.
And so I stopped watching those. I forgot why, but I stopped. Maybe it was just like too spoopy for me. But I stopped watching those, and so seeing it happen like this, so seeing this kind of plot, I'm like, yeah, no, it sounds like it could be good, but I feel like there was no I don't, like you said earlier when we first started this off, they're strangers. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Some yeah. There's
And
no
you're not really given any. There was no. I didn't feel like there was much humanity to them either.
yeah. Again, they
Other than
weren't
like,
evil and they
other
weren't
than
like
like,
great.
they were afraid. Like th- they screamed and stuff like that. So they had fear. So you felt bad for them that way.
I felt bad when
But
her mom died.
yeah, but other than that, we there wasn't really much time to get to know them.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge issue with this movie. And it's not like it was a short movie either.
No, it wasn't. It felt like a 3 hour movie, and it was only an hour and a half
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god! I felt like 10 minutes went on for 45 minutes.
I feel like you either have to get rid of the Chiharu subplot or get rid of the Scream Queen subplot. I consider them all subplots because they all complement each other.
Yeah,
But like something had to give. So like
and
even
I
though I
think
liked
they crammed too much into the movie also.
that's the issue. They crammed too much in a sense without actually. They did the ultimate odd. They crammed too much while also not giving you enough to go on.
Yeah.
It's so weird when movies do that, but yeah, it sucks too because I'm not saying that the first three films, specials, whatever you want to refer to them as, were the gold standard or something. But I think this one
Yeah.
definitely took a nosedive.
Yeah, it really did. I was disappointed.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been better if they just told it in chronological order, even if you didn't care about the characters?
Um,
I mean, because it seemed like your
it's hard to
problem.
say
It's
because
Yeah, because it seems like your problem was just generally being confused all the time, which isn't always your existence, but and isn't always mine. Isn't always, but like you were confused throughout this entire film. So
yeah,
like if you remove the confusion, would you just be like, "Oh, I didn't care about them and I was maybe bored, but I knew what was happening."
yeah,
Like would that
yeah.
change your opinion that much or you're like, "Nah."
Um, well, I think I place a lot of importance on caring about the characters, so I think even then,
Right, okay. That's fair. I Yeah. Oh man, this was not the best. Again, I
yeah,
would recommend it like if you're going to have some drinks and have some laughs with friends, I think
yeah,
that you can definitely find some good in this, and that might seem like a low bar to some, but I think that if you and I and Tristan, Anthony just kind of all got together, had some drinks, and
yeah.
got
And
spooked out.
I didn't drink any alcohol today, and that
Sorry
was
to
a
hear that.
mistake.
I think that also might have hurt this because I think all jokes aside, really though, if we were just hanging out, it like just having a good time, I think it would work. I really do. But
Yeah,
I think, and because it also we'd be like, oh damn, like what I'm saying, like certain deaths, I'd be like, oh oh oh
yeah,
oh. But it's I don't know. It's just that it it didn't do what we needed it to do, which was kind of get us invested, at least in my opinion.
yeah. No, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I was not invested, and I was waiting for a point when I would become invested, and I just stopped caring uh, uh, at the points where I should have been invested. And when it was over, I was like, thank God. And I'm just like, thank God I never have to think about this movie again.
All right. Oh fuck. Okay, we're gonna wrap that one up on that note. Um. Yeah.
I'm
No.
sorry. I usually like the things that we watch.
No, yeah. I mean, well, usually we do Star Trek Thursdays. You and I talk about the original, the TOS of Star Trek, the original series,
Yeah.
and also we've done the other Ju-on the Grudge movies. Um, I don't remember what else you and I have done other than that. I know you were on an episode of Keikaku
Vampires.
Corner. Oh God. Okay. So is this worse than vampires?
Um, they're terrible in different ways.
I think that one had
But at
some
least,
quirky
but you know
charm that
what?
this didn't have.
You know what? At least I, I did care about the characters in Vampires.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I'll say about that.
Sorry, I took a drink as you said that, and it hit me that that's on the record forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually cared about the characters in Vampires. Oh yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about it. I believe it was an Anna Saturday during one of our Halloween in July events.
Yeah.
I think it was either Halloween or Halloween in July. We started these, I believe, for talking about Ju-on the Grudge uh, during Halloween in July.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is the last. It's not the. This is, by the way, not the last Ju-on movie. There are other
Yeah.
ones.
No, I know.
Okay,
I
good.
know that there was a recent one, and
Well,
there was
okay, so
one.
there's a well, yeah. So this is interesting. So, as we're wrapping this one up, there's the American remake of the first one, which came out in
Yeah.
'04. Then there's a second one, which I believe does not actually tie into any of the Japanese Grudge movies. Like, it's not
Okay.
like considered a remake. It's just its own thing for the Grudge 2, which came out
Yeah.
in '06. And then Grudge 3 came out in '09, which again, I don't believe has any ties to the Ju-on films. And then like even like when I say ties, obviously they're remakes, but like I don't think it has any even like plot threads or plot relations. Like, oh, I saw that in this movie. In this Ju-on movie. I'm pretty sure 2 and 3 are their own things. And
Mm.
then the newest, it's like a remake of the initial Ju-on movie. It's just The Grudge, and it's coming out in 2020. That's not out yet.
Oh, I thought it came out for some reason.
I'm sorry, you're right. It did. Literally, it's funny. We're recording this on the 3rd of February because we're bleeding into the next day, Super Bowl. It came out January 3rd. So you're right. It's already out, and I should go watch it.
Yes.
Critics
Yeah.
did not like it, but it seems like moviegoers were interested. The budget was 10 to 14 million. The box office is 40.4 million. So it's not an Avengers, but I didn't think this would be an Avengers. Now, when I'm talking about the Japanese side of things, though, there are other Ju-on movies, but none of them relate to this continuity. So this is the last film in this continuity before Japan actually did a remake themselves. So that I would be interested in, because even if it's nothing like these films, it might not be. Even if it's nothing like these films, I would prefer a different take is interesting, because this came
Yeah.
out in '09. So a
Oh
different
yeah,
take
no,
would
I would
be,
I would be
yeah,
completely open to a different take.
yeah.
Just
Because I
because I
think
like Kayako, I like the I like the premise, I like the idea,
I
but
just think that it's run its
this
course.
movie yeah, this movie did not do it for me.
Yeah. Well, when I say different take, though, I mean it might not be psychological. It might just be more like, like like
Jump scares.
yeah. Well, that would be more quote unquote. Yeah. Well, it depends on what your view is. When I was saying not a psychological, I wasn't even referring to jump scares. I was referring, because at least that can have some tension to it. I mean, like, it might be bloodier, or it might be more monster oriented. I don't know. I've never seen the movies. There's a bunch of other ones. There's White Ghost, Ju-on White Ghost in '09, and then also in '09, Ju-on Black Ghost. They might have released them like The Curse and Curse 2, where like they're both halves of the same story, but it sounds like it's just a fucking Pokemon edition of Ju-on. And then they did the beginning of the end, and then they did the final curse, and then, we talked about this. They did Sadako versus Kayako.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day, Anthony. You, me, Tristan, and alcohol. One day.
Yeah. Please let there be alcohol.
Well, hey, it's Kadako versus Sayako. Might be. It's not going to be. We're not doing the Grudge 2 again.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
So, yes. All right, everybody. So, thank you all so much for listening in, as always, into whatever the hell this was. You could be listening through our Podbean, which is Those Guys Radio, or listening through our YouTube channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio. Either way, no matter how you're listening to this, thank you all so much. Love you all. Take care, and tune in for something completely different next time. Could be Friday Night Movies. Could be Star Trek Thursday. If it's Anthony, probably Star Trek Thursday. But I have no idea. And we'll find out. Well, if you want to have an idea, an inkling of a thought, I would suggest going over to our Facebook, facebook.com/Those Guys on the Radio, our Twitter @Those Guys Radio, or our main website, tgproduction.net, to follow everything that we're doing, not just with podcasts, but also with Let's Plays as well. And even with the channel that oh God, Facebook is on. Who's messaging me on Facebook? Who am I getting mad at? Tristan. I'm going to tell him right now, because this is in the recording. I am doing a podcast, sir. Okay, I just sent that to him. All right.
That sounded like angry typing.
It might have been. Okay, anyway. No, it's my fault. I left it on. And no, even if you're not on the tab, it'll just... Anywho, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.